I've been involved in the environmental education field for about 30 years. Early on in my career, I actually wanted to be part of Jacques Cousteau's crew, and I studied environmental science with a focus on marine ecology. And in that early experience as a student and in my early career, I noticed that I very often, if not exclusively, was the person of color in those spaces. And it made me scratch my head and just pondered, like, how come I don't see more people of color in these spaces? What's going on? That led to what is turning out into a lifelong pursuit of information, and basically I discovered environmental justice, equity, diversity, all those. I looked into these into why is there a disparity of representation, and that has led me into environmental justice work, coupled with environmental education. Well, one, your question makes me think of Aldo Leopold and something that he focused on in his book, The Sand County Almanac. And that was a reminder about the beginning of human existence on this earth. And first there were the plants and the animals, right? And then people came along. And the plants and the animals and people in whatever location they were in, they grew up together and they learned lessons from each other. And from people eating plants and interacting with the animals, up sprang the different cultures. So all people have a connectedness to the earth. Now, in North America and in the United States specifically, the whole context of environment, because of our environmental history, is highly racialized. Because, in a nutshell, stolen land worked by stolen people. There was a massive immigration. Native Americans were displaced from their homelands, and then the disparity was deepened by bringing in slaves, and then the whole legacy of the slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, we live out the legacies of those historical events.
And neither of which have been addressed, so we do continue to live them out. Exactly.
Yes, we do. And so so very often what I hear around diversifying the field is for the dominant white society to talk about, oh, we need to learn more about other cultures, and in more situations, more often what happens is a co-option of cultures, and that is for people who have been historically marginalized, that is a continuation of that colonization. So part of what we don't talk about is white people talking about their history and talking about, well, what caused your families to move? What were the circumstances there? And then what were the circumstances of your moving here to this land? And what is your relationship with that land? And what is our interaction with the people who were originally here before us?
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of discussions have not been normalized. And people have, and if we bring out more of those stories, I think that will bring us closer to our shared humanity. And from that shared humanity, we get closer to those universal things that bind us together.
Mm-hmm.
Those universal things of love and peace. We tend to focus on what separates us, what makes us different. instead of what actually the attributes that we share as human beings. Okay, so what you just mentioned prompts me to think of Simon Kuznets, the economist, and his theory was based on a lot of data and other statistics and things. So I'm going to really water it down, but in essence, what his theory is that the more economic difference between the rich and the poor, the poorer are the relationships between people in a community, and the worse off the impact on the environment. So here's an elder that's trying to tell me something here. In a situation where the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, and there's a huge gap, the worse off the relationships are between the communities in a location, and then the worse off the impact on the environment.
The more unequal they are.
Yeah, the more disparity there is, the worse off the environment is. And then the other way is the less difference, the communications are improved, and once you have improved communication, the impact on the environment is for the positive. It becomes healthier. So what we gain overall by working to undoing disparity is healthier mindsets, healthier environments, and overall productivity for all people. We raise all boats when we work towards equity. I was reflecting on the geological age of the Earth and the living things on Earth, and so, like my arms are, from finger to finger, hand to hand, is the 4.6 billion years of Earth's existence. And in all of this time is the springing forth of the plants and the bacteria and the fish and animals, et cetera, et cetera. And human beings spring up, and well, how long is that along this continuum? If I had a nail file and just drew it across one nail, that's it. Humans are gone. We are the runts of the litter. And look at what we have done to Mother Earth. Right?
In such a short time.
In such a short time. So we're sort of like this toddler reaching into our diaper and checking out, like, whoa, what's in there, and we're doing all kinds of like crazy stuff. We're the runts of the litter. The plants, the fish, they really are our geological elders. And they taught us how to live on this earth when humans were crawled out of the water and, became these two bipedal beings. There are many, many cultures throughout the world that remember a time when the plants spoke to us, or when animals spoke to us and taught us important lessons and kept us humble. Like, if you don't do this, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the importance of bringing in different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remembering a natural checks and balances, and hopefully we in the native sense they speak of the future in terms of generations of people, so of generations of children that have yet to be. So remembering that humility gives us a chance to benefit the beauties of this world, to send that along to our future generations. If we make it out that far, I'm hoping that we bring in more of these perspectives sooner than later, and then also for dominant society to talk about their history and normalizing their role in how the world is. That we grow from being this toddler state in our species and grow into a greater maturity, you know, and to work with our elders for the benefit of all, to go forth in a good way, to benefit as many people as possible for the longest period of time.